Greetings, 𝐬𝐓𝐇 family members. How are you? How are we? I'm good. I'm really good. Today, the day is beautiful. The sun is shining bright and strong. And I decided, I think it's time for me to engage 𝐬𝐶 family members. How are you? I'm good. You know, last time you saw me with a doctor on my bedside examining me. I'm much better. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm much better. And thank you so much for all the prayers. Thank you so much for all the messages, get well soon messages. Thank you. And so remember, I promised that we will do a part 2, possibly a part 3, as we go with this conversation, and also even as people ask questions. One of the questions that came from last week's video about how to read our own body signals. And by the way, I come from a medical background, but I have not practiced since 31 years ago. So I now talk about things as a layperson more than I do, as an informed medical person. So I just thought I would let you know, after one of us family members asked why I haven't told you. It's just because I've not practiced for 31 years, and to that end, I felt unqualified, as it were, to speak as a specialist. So now I'm just talking like a layperson. Yes, I'm informed, but as a layperson, as I live life every day, we speak. Yeah. So one of the questions that was asked was, how do you practice mindfulness? I did put in an answer on the video, because I imagined those that are engaging on the video would want to have that answer as well. And but in summary, what I would say regarding practicing mindfulness is being intentional. Now that you know, with the knowledge that you have about reading your own body signals, being intentional in making sure that on a daily basis you are conscious of yourself, of your body. You are conscious of your own body physicality, in terms of the strength, in terms of aches and pains, in terms of yourself, mood swings, in terms of the wellness of your mind, all those things. This is the intention for us to know and to be aware, so that every day, if you cannot do something that you used to do in a certain way, ask yourself why, ask yourself how. That would lead you to see if there is a problem that needs attention. Very important. But today in particular, I would like us to discuss the mistakes that we make when trying to read, body signals. I have made those mistakes, and I'm sure many of us 𝐬𝐶 family members, we've made those mistakes as well. One of the biggest mistakes that I have made, and I seem to keep making, is when I miss the signals completely. I'm not always in tune with my body. And because I'm not always in tune with my body can behave in a certain way, and I may not even be conscious. I may not even recognize it consciously, that there's something not right with how I am. I'll carry on with whatever else. I'm sure I'll pour in quite a bit of adrenaline, some steroids in my system, and I'll carry on life as usual. And then you realize later, and then when you go back, you realize, but a few months ago, I felt this. I'll give you a small testimonial. One of my close family members, unfortunately, I hadn't cleared it with him, but my husband, in 2021, we were actually with friends in a church, cell group setup, and he suddenly had a sharp pain in his groins. And we took him, to the nearest 24-hour place, and they examined him. They took some x-rays. I think they did whether an ultrasound or a scan, and we told them he had a doctor, his usual doctor. He was contacted, and he says, no, allow him to go home. I'll see him tomorrow. The next day we saw our doctor. In fact, the reason why we beckoned for our doctor is because the ones that saw him that night, they were talking operation. They would end with thinking, we have a doctor. Let's let the doctor see him. And along with our doctor, we agreed, the pain didn't come back. He slept well. And even the next day, he was fine. We ignored that pain. And 2 years later, almost, he one day just found himself bleeding. And the problem was bigger. The problem was more frightening. Missing the sign completely. It's very important, guys, particularly those of us who are over 50, over 40. If you're over 50, it means 60, 70, you are there. Do not ignore. Don't argue your case with a doctor so that you don't get admitted, you stay at home. The next time they will bring you back, whoever will bring you back, the matter will be the worse. So please pay attention. Number one, missing signals. Number two, mistake that we make often is actually a misreading or misinterpretation of the signal. Often, if you have a mindset, cause and effect sort of mindset, if something happens, you are very quick to explain it away. It's because of this. It's because of that. And when you are in that space, if that's your established permanent way of looking at life, causal effect mindset, unless you can explain something away, if you can't touch the cause, you dismiss the signal. And many of us do that. I have done that. Remember, I told you when the week that I then fell sick, I was trying to explain everything away by telling my friends and my loved ones that I ate too much boiled mealies and I think, they're just too harsh on my stomach and that's why I'm in pain. Meantime, there's a bigger problem. Do not misread, do not misinterpret the signals. Leave it to the specialists, leave it to those people who know better. Just give them how as it is and they will be able to explain to you what it is. It's very important. And sometimes with misinterpretation also, it even becomes worse if you bring in spirituality to the issues around you. That one is bigger. That one is bigger. And we do it every time. It's a spiritual attack. It's a spiritual attack. And because it's a spiritual attack, you go for an all-night prayer, you go up the mountain, you declare prayer and fasting, you are believing it's a spiritual attack. By the time you then succumb to the physical signals, sometimes the disease has progressed. Does God not heal when you climb a mountain to pray, to seek, for his help? He will help. He will help, and he has helped. But I want to encourage, I wanted to say, let's encourage each other as we pay attention to the signals. You climb up the mountain, you declare prayer and fasting. As you climb down the mountain, pass through a doctor's room. Allow them to examine you, allow them to make sure that you are fine. So that as well as you have climbed a mountain, you've passed the doctor's rooms, you go home with a position that is clear what is happening. It's very important. So yes, continue to pray. Yes, continue to climb mountains. But above it all, pass through a doctor's rooms. Be assessed. Be assessed by a medical professional so that you do not nurse a condition, a disease that will be progressing. Meantime, you are not doing the requisite things to ensure that disease is combated before it still can be helped. And sometimes, that was number 2. Number 3, ignorance regarding body signals. Complete ignorance. In Shona we say kusatongoziva. Unongoita headache. Unongo watuti headache yangu yadzoka. Yepamusoro pemaziso apa. Headache. You have the signal, but you just are ignorant that certain signals are of importance. They are very important for you to make note, and not just take note, but to ensure that you visit a doctor's rooms and you are assessed so that certain things are eliminated. When we go to the doctors, by the way, it's not that we get a diagnosis all the time. Sometimes it's to get a position so that you know that actually I am fine. It's just a pain, and whenever I feel it, I know, no, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just a pain. That is important. But also, for when you go there early, then conditions can be picked up much earlier, and management is always easier when things are still simple and of a little significance in terms of the impact of the disease or condition on you. Very important. For example, I'm just thinking as I look down to go to point number 4. You know, sometimes with cancer, you hear people tell you cancer stage 1, cancer stage 2, 3, 4. Before it gets to stage 1, there is a pre-state where they can tell you that we've picked, some markers have picked cancerous. It may not be very, very clear yet, but you can begin treatment. Stage 1, good place to receive treatment at. I'm sure you have known and or heard relatives and friends who, when they were told stage 4, there was nothing the doctors could do except just managing the pain, ensuring good quality life. But beyond that, there was nothing that could be done. So if we catch the signals early, I'm saying with those signals, visit a professional medical practitioner. Don't come to Clarissa Ranganai, who last practiced 31 years ago. No, don't do that. Go to somebody who's practicing currently, get them assess you, and ensure that they give you a good position of how things are. And then the other bit is minimizing, number 4, minimizing the significance of the body signal. You know, you can have a signal. You actually are aware of maybe it's a pain, maybe, I don't know, it's what. You are actually aware, but you keep telling yourself, it's nothing. This is nothing. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And before you know it, disease is progressing in your body. By the time you then, that's my biggest pitfall. That's my biggest pitfall and my biggest mistake. I will feel some aches and pains, and I'll explain them. Maybe I'm very tired. Maybe I had too much boiled mealies. Maybe I did that. Maybe I did that. And I will minimize. I'll tell myself, if I just take a glass of milk, if I just sleep, if I just do this. And by the time I went to the doctor, he said to me, just as well you've come. Things could have progressed and things could have been gotten worse. So no, we don't want to do that with our bodies, guys. We don't want to don't minimize pain. Don't minimize whatever signal your body is giving you. Go make sure that you discuss with a professional, qualified medical personnel. They will help you read that signal. And then one that happens completely is suppression. I don't know how this one happens, but I think sometimes if you have been sick or ill and people have been irritated with it, or in childhood, maybe you raised up an orphan and no one paid attention. Even if you told them I have a headache, even if you told them I'm not feeling well, you were dismissed. Now, what happens as you grow older, if you are not healed from the trauma, or in your upbringing, you also dismiss any other signals. It's like your mind is conditioned to believe that no one will receive whatever I tell them. So in the end, you just dismiss it, and or you suppress the signals. You tell yourself, I'm okay. If I told people I'm becoming a nuisance, and people, no, I don't want to do that, and you suppress it. Guys, it's not necessary. We're adults, and let's allow whatever it is that we are feeling to be paid attention, so that at least we get early diagnosis of whatever is happening with us. I'm not asking for us to be weaklings, by the way, and I'm not asking for us to be, you know what I mean, kitchen sink family members. All I'm saying is, let's make sure we don't make the same mistakes that I have made, that others that I know have made. Let's allow the signals that our body gives. Let us ensure that we follow through with a proper examination, a proper assessment, so that we receive our clean bill of health, And if there is need for anything for attention to be paid to anything, we are the people that are suffering. Let that attention be given to us, and let's ensure that we are fit, we are healthy. Very important to me, and I'm sure very important to you. Do not make some mistakes. And Kitchen Sink family members, I've told you my own mistakes that I have made. Which ones? Please add. As you read, you practice mindfulness over your body. Please share your own things. I know some people who tell me, I was feeling numb. If you have felt a numbness in your body, please share. What became of that numbness. Someone was telling me yesterday that in the midst of, is it yesterday or day before, in the midst of a presentation, at a university, and not a low-level presentation at a university, she went blind. Momentarily, she just couldn't see her notes. She was smart to say stuff, and eventually she was able to see, and she proceeded. But that was a signal. Guys, these signals are awash. They are different with different ones, but whatever has happened to you, please, let's share. Let's also take recognition on whatever it is that is happening with you. Visit the medical centers for your annual checkups. If you are a woman, you need to do your annual or biannual pap smear, for a woman, and a mammogram. If you are a man, you need to be checked for the cancer markers for prostate cancer. After a certain age, it becomes of importance for us to do that. But in the comment section, let's share. Let's have a conversation. These are matters that affect us. Yes, I'll share with you my own experience, but I'm only one human being. Kindly share your own experiences and share. Numbness, giddiness, drowsiness, feeling sick, all those things that sound sometimes innocent, allow yourself to be seen. Good day, Kitchen Sink family members, and let's stay healthy. Let's go.